I don't know that he's actually the killer. It's still alleged.
Seemingly uninterested in actually looking for the information.
Yeah, like he is like, I just can't put these things together, but these are the ideas I have learned. And if he was a methodical killer, the way he did it was very like planned and scripted and done.
He probably thought he was like igniting a spark. I've seen some people comparing him to the Robert Palmer idea, from Fight Club, which, I love that movie, but it's a silly comparison. But yeah, I don't know. He probably thought
Robert Paulson?
Robert Paulson, that's right. Yeah.
Robert
Don't be
Palmer's
smirched,
the
Fight Club.
musician.
Not among a bunch of millennial men.
Oh,
wait,
no.
there's only
I'm
two.
gonna get stoned
right?
again.
So this guy, I think I would give him high intelligence, low wisdom if I have to make him a D&D character. Maybe.
I think you're wrong.
Well, he's able to memorize. If he's valedictorian, he's obviously got memorization capability, but
that's not
his ability to
intelligence.
associate ideas is lax.
Being able to memorize, like there are people who are developmentally disabled who can remember every moment of their life, and they couldn't drive a car.
Right, yeah.
Actually, this is true too. There are some people who are not developmentally disabled, but there's a phenomenon where they have perfect recall, and it's considered to be some kind of a disability because it actually is difficult to navigate the present. So there are people you can go to them and say, September 17th, 2013, 5 a.m., and they will literally tell you exactly what they were doing.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that sounds like an
they call them savants.
Right, they call
idiot
it
savant was like a term that they would use.
Yeah.
Like they were terrible at a lot of things, but very good at that one.
This guy doesn't seem smart in any respect.
Well, if he was valedictorian, he must have had memorization capability. And the way that murder was carried out was like very methodical. But then he's found with the IDs.
Yeah, not very smart.
That's not smart.
Unless, as some people are speculating, he was intending to get caught so that he could have these lived experience outbursts with the police.
Right. The way he screamed
And
and
get
the experience, I was like, that's the guy. But
I actually
maybe not.
was thinking this. Why was he sitting in McDonald's with a backpack full of all this stuff, right? After the killing, there was a debate in the media as to whether or not it was a lover's tryst or related to ransomware or ideological. We don't know. And so if this dude, he's accused, he's not confirmed, but if he's ideologically driven, he's going, no, it should be obvious. It should be obvious why I did it. So he knew he had to get caught so that he could make sure the narrative was his political ideology.
I think that's true. Even if it was a subconscious, but I think so. I think that's literally he wanted this narrative to get pushed.
Well, didn't he live in? When was the last place that we know that he lived? I thought it was in Honolulu, right? So I mean, look, it's not easy to get to Hawaii. You need to get on a plane, and once the pictures got out, it was unlikely that he would be able to make it through an airport, considering he got ID'd in a McDonald's. So maybe he didn't have anywhere to go.
Did you see those pictures from McDonald's, though? He was wearing an orange beanie and a black poofy jacket. And I got to be honest, like, I see a bunch of people on X saying, how did anyone recognize him as the shooter? That's
eyebrows.
But he was wearing a brown beanie. He was wearing totally different clothes. And there's a photo of him from, like, decently close to him. And it's like, did someone walk up to him and snap a picture and call the cops?
I don't know. I'm always amazed in these situations when people in the common world, in the real world, identify these people, because even if I recognize someone or think I do, I'm still going to be like, I'm probably wrong. But there are people who they see someone and they're like, I think that's the guy. I don't know.
I will.
Go ahead.
I will add, a lot of people come up to me and say, you look like this guy, Tim Pool.
Yeah.
They don't just say, hey, I'm a big fan. They say, you look like this guy.
Yeah,
And
that happened to me a couple weeks ago.
Right,
I was like, you look like that guy on Timcast. I'm like, well, I am that guy on
See,
Timcast.
I've just assumed that I'm getting it wrong, right? And so it's interesting to me how some people actually are just so sure. I recognize that guy.
Maybe it's this simple. We didn't hear all of the stories where the tips failed, right?
True.
So for all we know, in Westchester, PA, somebody called the cops saying, I think I found the guy. And there's local cops not doing anything. And they say, we'll drive down and take a look. They drive up and they see some random guy and they go, that's just a random guy. If that happens 10,000 times, no one's going to hear about it. But the one time it does, they got him.
Yeah.
Right.
This guy has this stark face, too. He has got a really, really kind of a standout face. If he didn't want to get caught, he should have shaved his eyebrows, I guess, in retrospect.
I mean, the eyebrows were definitely a distinguishing feature on him, or a distinctive feature. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the kind of person that sits there and like is looking around. Who's this guy? Who's that? Does that? Blah blah blah.
Right.
So I probably wouldn't have been like, yo, that's the dude, because again, thick eyebrows is real tough to be like, that's the guy, you know?
I wonder why it is we found out this guy's literal life story. We know about every drug he's taken, every book he's read, his opinions on the Unabomber, and we've learned nothing of Trump's assassin.
Attempted assassin.
Right.
Failed assassin.
Sorry, failed assassin.
Talking about Thomas Crooks.
Nobody knows anything about him. He just showed up one day and slipped through like a oily snake, made it to the top of that building that nobody was on top of for some reason. And this guy, it's like within a couple of days, it's like we can tell you how many like zits he's had.
Yeah, this is like that underwater submersible implosion taking the world's attention by storm, where everyone's interested in finding this. What drugs has he taken?
Was that guy Stockton Rush? Was that his name?
I don't know. The owner of the submersible. I don't know.
I mean, you don't really think that it's a conspiracy in this case, though, right? With this.
No.
You think it's yeah.
I mean,
but I understand the frustration that people feel about the way that the Trump assassination attempt just sort of slipped away.
And Secret Service.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying there's a conspiracy to cover anything up. I don't know. I certainly think the official narrative on the Trump assassination is complete nonsense.
Attempted assassination.
Sorry.
It must manifest that the attempt failed.
It failed. But there's a lot of people who are saying this is a psyop because when they first released the person of interest photos, I'm like, that's not the same guy. You look at the picture of the video of the assassination of the CEO. That was weird. The picture of the CEO. And it looks like a guy has a little heavier set, and he seems to have thinner eyebrows and appears to be older, but who knows?
Because the camera was above. I heard you say that, and it didn't make sense. He did look heavier, but it might have been the angle of the camera pointing
There's
down
two
at him.
different camera angles. And his jacket could be poofy because he's wearing a
That's
sweater.
true, too.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
he had a bunch of gear on him.
He could have had two jackets on because
Yeah,
he wanted to pull one off and throw it away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't read too much in that. Yeah. But
So that's why I'm saying, like, at the time, I thought when they said, here's a photo of a person of interest, everybody said, that's the shooter. And I'm like, oh, hold on there. This has happened before, where people rush to accuse a person of interest of being the shooter or the bomber. And I'm not going to name the specific instance, but 10 years ago, there was a very, very serious incident where the wrong person was ID'd, and it caused a lot of problems. And I'm like, a person of interest could be a guy they saw on camera, give him a high five. And they're like, how does that person know him? We want to talk to him.
right.
But everybody just said it was the shooter. Well, now they're saying it was, so. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.